Let's try once more with Mr. Owen Nkomo there, who's the Chief Executive Officer for the Inkunzi Wealth Group, who's helping us understand what's coming up next after, of course, the announcement of that reversal of the VAT increment was actually made on Wednesday. Owen, a very good afternoon. Hopefully you can hear me now. Thank you so much for your time. So this announcement, I was saying, has given rise to quite a number of questions, right? Mainly the legal, political, as well as economic, or shall we say financial impact that it will actually pose. Let's start with the worrying factor of the direct financial impact, specifically on the implementing authorities. Consumer bodies yesterday already coming out and voicing their frustration on the huge financial implications that this decision will actually cost them.
No, look, I think there's a valid reason for all of the people to raise these concerns, but I think, Alicia, the most important thing in my view is that people are not going to be paying more than they need to pay through this recently proposed VAT scenario. I think it's still a win-win for me, for the consumer, but definitely there will be issues, especially on the legal side of all of this. And it brings to question, or probably maybe not question in my view, but it strengthens the case to say we have very good systems that are democratically placed to protect everyone in the country. There is systems that have been put in place to challenge decisions that have been made, which might not work for everyone's benefit.
Very interesting, because I think it's also imperative, Owen, that we actually reiterate that this decision at this stage still remains an intention and not necessarily a law. And Treasury, these companies have to work against the clock in order to come up with a solution before come the 1st of May, which is a couple of working days.
It is a couple of working days, but I think these days the technology, you just go into the system and you click one button or change one number. And then, whatever changes are effected or not effected in this case, if there's an agreement that VAT should stay at 15. So I don't think it's that really big a deal in my perspective. But I think it's just a clumsy way of decision-making for us to have been in this decision-making for this long. Even if there is merit in the fact that there has been a good discussion or people have expressed their opinions, and an opposition to an increase in VAT seems to be a winning ticket on this angle. But I do believe that this could have been done much easier. But I think that having thought about raising VAT in the first place was not a very wise idea.
Well, I mean, according to you, I mean, at a flip of a switch or a button there, Owen, they can reverse the new systems. But I mean, as companies like yourselves, let's maybe get extensive detail on how that process will then actually be implemented. And what would that process to undo all these steps actually entail, whilst you still don't have a different fiscal framework? And will this not also put consumers at a huge financial loss, looking at informal industries that are already using cash payment system? I mean, SARS already came out and said this would be virtually almost near impossible.
No, I think it's a difficult one, Alicia, to attest to as far as SARS is concerned. I think SARS will lose money. But like I'm telling you, from our side as a business, for example, we've sent communication to the effect that our clients can expect an increase in their VAT fees. But we have had to retract that on the development that we may actually see that staying on at 15%. So we are not going to be charging all time. I was, in fact, using a system yesterday where I was changing the VAT numbers back to 15% for the month of May. So I don't think it's very complicated, but I do believe that ultimately a decision will have to be made that will stick. We are in limbo at the moment, but one does hope that sanity does prevail, because charging people more money to raise tax, I don't think is the best solution that the Minister of Finance has.
But is this just across the spectrum where, you can easily reverse, of course, the system, Owen? Because, I mean, I suppose the consumer rights bodies would not have come out in defense of the fact that they now have to incur all these monetary, expenses in order to revise the system.
I don't know what systems they're using, Alicia. I don't know what systems they're using, because from where we stand, it's just you put VAT at 15%, or you put it at 15.5, or you put it at 16. It's in the system, and then it just charges all the clients that number. If at the till point you put your VAT at 15, whether you put it at 18 or 20, it's just a click of a button. It's a system that you use to obviously determine what the VAT number is going to be, as long as it's been dictated through the Minister in Treasury and all the structures in the country that approve that number. I believe we've got sophisticated enough systems in the country to carry this non-change.
But I mean, as I said earlier on, Owen, I'm sure you heard me there when I said this is still, of course, an intention. It's not law yet. So what happens for you businesses then come the 1st of May and none of the processes, political processes, legal processes have actually been achieved before the implementation comes on the 1st of May? What happens in that instance for businesses?
So the stance that we have taken as business is that we're going to keep our VAT cost to the client at 15%. We are not going to change it until there's finality. We'll just keep the number at 15%. Because the administration that would come with you having to reimburse clients,
yes,
it's just going to be a bigger nightmare. So we'll much rather sit and wait until a final decision has been made.
Very interesting indeed. So one has to wonder, what about those informal sectors like the taxi industry, whom I suppose a lot of people have been talking about the fact that they've been getting word that those taxi rates or taxi fare rates might actually increase. How do you reimburse your consumers in that regard? Owen, we're going to leave it there.
Difficult.
Owen, thank you so much for your input this afternoon. We're going to leave it there. That is Inkunzi Wealth CEO, Mr. Owen Nkomo. They're also weighing in on the VAT reversal decision, as of course we continue to make sense of what the actual implications are on the ground pertaining to this decision.